At number 10 on my list, a tie between two rookies, one who's a little bit more immediately usable, both containing long-term upside. Now, I do think Rashee Rice, 39% rostered, is the guy I would go to first here. And I am just so impressed. Fourth on the Chiefs receivers in snaps, and yet first among this group of boneheads in catches, yards, touchdowns, and of course, fantasy points. They are adding up. He scored his second touchdown of the year, a go-ahead score, crucial moment. Mahomes goes to his rookie. Rashee Rice comes through, barreling in the end zone, despite having a bunch of defenders around him. Sky Moore sucks. Kadarius Toney doing nothing, probably sucks too. Of all the wide receivers here, if somebody's going to emerge with a true every down role, I imagine it's Rice. Now, the snaps have been all over the place. Definitely disconcerting that he went backwards in snap share this past week, backwards in route share, but he just continues to produce even while he's not out on the field. He is just a beast. Solid size, 41-inch vertical, and he's the one that's actually getting it done. Plus, you get Denver's awful defense. You only need 35% of the routes to get it done against them, but I do really think Rashee Rice could carve out that every down role. So definitely check for him. A lot of impatient owners also dropping Quentin Johnston, similar to the JSN first check. This could be coming out the bye where they scheme this kid up and start to really get him involved. Now, he's been kind of a square peg jammed into a round hole so far where they're trying to make him go for those big vertical contested grabs. That's not his thing. I know Mike Williams, they look similar at big body and streaking speed, but that's not what Johnston does to perfection. What he is used best is when he's oftentimes slot, but really dangerous after the catch. We cited this. Go back to the week 4 waiver show if you want a few more details. But one of the most impressive yards after the catch per receptions in college history. The kid is so dangerous when the ball's in his hand and he can make some things happen. Moves much more agile than a man his size ever should be able to. So I imagine Kellen Moore, really smart play caller, knows how to use his talents the right way. I think his role, Quentin Johnston, will continue to grow a lot. One of the highest dropped wide receivers entering this last bye. I think he'll be out there in a bunch of leagues. Go check for him. Now, after these guys, you want just someone you can plug right into your lineup, not have to wait for the rookie to develop. Curtis Samuel, 18% rostered. I think he's definitely worth a $6 bid here. Should he be lingering in your waiver wire? Wide receiver 11 and wide receiver 12 after scoring 18 and 19 fantasy points in back-to-back weeks, really carving himself out a nice role in this Eric Bieniemy offense. We know Sam Howell at this point loves to target the middle of the field, the higher percentage throws, whether it's Curtis Samuel or another guy we're about to talk about in just a few players. It's the higher percentage stuff that Howell just feels comfortable with, and that's why Dotson, Terry McLaurin, they're struggling right now. While Samuel is picking up the slack completely. He's run at least 70% of the routes every single week. He's kind of playing that Jerick McKinnon style role, a lot of backfield snaps, a lot of motion going all over the place. A lot of people thought that'd be Antonio Gibson, but it really turned out to be Curtis Samuel so far. And so I don't know why we're not treating him like the 9th, 10th round pick that everybody thought Antonio Gibson deserved to be, myself included. PPR value is through the roof here, at least in terms of his relative waiver wire. A good bet for 8-ish catches a week, given how often he's going to be targeted here. Just versatile baller, dating back to those Ohio State days, was a running back receiver hybrid, Percy Harvin clone, a lot of people were calling him, and Bieniemy is scheming it up to perfection right now. So Curtis Samuel, definitely a very usable player that's out there in a ton of leagues and doesn't really get talked about because it's not sexy. It's not a rookie. It's not the unknown. We know who Curtis Samuel is. He's just being used better than he ever has as of right now, and nobody seems to want to pay attention. Speaking of sexy rookies, though, Josh Downs, only 9% rostered. Another guy worth $5, $6, maybe even $10, depending on how bad you need a wide receiver. He had 6 catches, 97 yards, leading the Colts, 15.7 PPR points, his season high so far. And the big thing is, as awful as it is that Anthony Richardson got hurt, such an electric player, speedy recovery. Let's get back on the field. I'd love to watch this kid. It sucks that he's out, but Josh Downs does a whole lot better without Anthony Richardson because Gardner Minshew loves peppering the slot guy. 24.2% target rate in weeks 2, 3, and 5 combined compared to 12.9% target rate in weeks 1 through 4. That's stat courtesy of Nathan Yankee over there at PFF. Great analyst over there. So with Richardson out for at least a few weeks, they're saying right now with that sprained AC joint, who knows exactly how long it will linger, but I bet the short-term IR is going to be heavily considered here. It's really impressive what Josh Downs has done with Gardner Minshew here seems to only be going upwards on that trend and trajectory. Matt Harmon, one of my favorite wide receiver analysts in the game, the reception perception king, he loved Josh Downs, as did Scott Barrett, two of my favorite guys at evaluating the position. Colts Reggie Wayne, the hot wide receiver coach, says that they considered Josh Downs the number one receiver of this class. A lot of people citing how impressive he is despite his small size, 5'9", 170, great at the contested grabs, good deep speed. Clearly what we're seeing on tape so far is that shiftiness, getting wide open over the middle of the field, understanding the zones, dropping when he needs to. Smart QB like Gardner Minshew is really peppering him and finding him here. So if you need an immediate injection of some nice PPR upside, Josh Downs is a very, very impressive rookie. What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.